Alright, family, good morning. How y'all doing? Take my last little sip. Because you know we ain't supposed to eat. I'm trying. So, y'all see we eating like a boss again. We're going to be going and discussing chapters of Joseph Campbell. But, of course, I got the pizza bread. I got cheese bread. Sourdough, of course, I made. This is straight sourdough. This is miso soup with a grain called cabbage. We're going to talk about that. I got the fermented egg here. Of course, we got some fermented beets, fermented cabbage, and potatoes. Alright, so we eat a little bit. You come on, eat a little bit with me, and then we'll get into the video. Alright. Beet. Piece of the egg. I think about doing that. We'll get into it, and we're going to finish eating first, okay? I love these beets. Remember, we eating like bosses. I see little Cleve over here getting ready for his studies. I'm gonna say hi to him, Cleve, since you're on camera now.
Okay.
Get him up at 5 so he can start learning this computer stuff, so I won't take the camera off him. Alright. Ain't like a boss. Man, now we get started. We got this magnificent work called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. right? This is one of many books that I'm studying right now. I'm trying to get ready for the kids coming back, get my mindset right, get my mind right, right? So one of the things that I really wanted that kind of was sparked by me reading this is the idea of you setting up holy days or holidays. That's what they call them now, but they're basically holy days for yourself, right? Taking command of your time, right? Taking your resources, since we own Ujima, cooperative economics, your cooperative resources, right? The resources, remember the 5 parts of being. Remember, that's your resource, 5 parts of your being. Tuition, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, 5 parts of being, 5 resources, all wrapped up in one, that body, right? That you need to go and collect. Now, what do you do on this holiday? Y'all know I just came off a fast. Y'all know I'm crazy, right? Y'all know I'm extreme, right? So the piece that I'm saying is, you need to pick a day, whether it's once a month, whether it's once a week. I'm doing the once a week so I can set the example, right? Where you fast for that period, that one day, that period. Like for example, the day you're born on. I'm born on Kuji Chagalia, right? I'm Abana. My fault, Kwabana. Female is Abana, right? So on Kuji Chagalia, I'm fasting, right? Regardless of what's going on. Now, what I can do is wrap myself past it. So if it's some type of celebration going on, I could pass on that. Now, I'm also setting up other days in which I fast, or holy days, right? Now, why am I associating holy days with not eating, right? Now, because let me tell you this, man. One of the roughest initiations that I have ever put myself through has been one where there's no food, right? That's why y'all see me up here eating like a boss, right? I'm talking about we eating like a boss. I'm sitting up here eating, right? Because it's like, damn, I get to celebrate because this is a major victory, because food is something that we are constantly surrounded by. Food is something that we told that we need to survive. Water is something that we're told that we need to survive. So when you are able to conquer the urges, right, it moves you to a whole nother level of thinking, right? Because if you could conquer that, what can't you conquer? This is why right now, during this week, I am personally working on, wake up boy, I'm personally working on mastering my habits, establishing a better system for me living in how I'm doing before school starts, right? Right now, so if I could demonstrate this, my teachers could demonstrate this for my kids. So let's go and let's look at some of the stuff from Joseph Campbell, right? So I'm reading through. Oh man, I lost my page. Don't want to lose my page. All right. I'm reading through. And man, listen, dude, this dude did some research. Now, one of the things that you have to understand when you're reading Joseph Campbell is that Joseph Campbell was, what do they call that? Kind of eclectic, comparative studies type dude. I don't know if you ever took any comparative study classes, but it basically take these ideas and compare them. So he was really into Freud and Jung, right? And he believes that the new leader of initiation, at least in Western society, is the psychiatrist, right? The doctor, right? The doctor could take you through the underworld. The doctor got the magic words to help you through a lot of the issues that you're going to experience, right? Because one of the things that Joseph Campbell believes is that a lot of the neuroses, a lot of the sicknesses, the the mental sicknesses that we have come from our lack of engagement in systematic rites of passage processes, right? Because these things openly allowed us to express feelings or openly discussed certain things that we needed to get over in order to live a healthy life. All right, this is monomyth, myth, and dream. Throughout the inhibited world, in all times and under every circumstances, myth of man have flourished, and they have been the living inspiration of whatever else may have appeared out of the activities of the human body and mind. It would not be too much to say that myth is the secret opening through which the inexhaustible energies of the cosmos pour into the human cultural manifestation. Religion, philosophies, arts, the social forms of primitive historic man, prime discoveries in science and technology, the very dreams that blister sleep, boils up from the basic magic ring of myth. So now, according to the mind state that he is advocating, he's saying myth is the source of all of our advancements. Myth is the source, right? It plug us into something bigger, which a lot of us are missing. A lot of us don't believe in nothing bigger. We believe that we live our life and that's it, right? But yet we still plagued by dreams. We still plagued by nightmares, right? And the issue is because we as a group have not socially dealt with these, with this drama, has not this universal, this eternal drama that goes on within us. Hold on. Alright. Today, many scientists are contributing to the analysis of the riddle. Alright, the riddle that they're talking about. Let's go back to the riddle. The wonder is that the characteristic of efficacy to touch and inspire a deep creative center dwells in the smallest nursery fairy tales. As the flavor of the ocean is contained in a droplet of the whole mystery of life within the egg of a flea. For the symbols of mythology are not manufactured. They cannot be ordered, invented, or permanently suppressed. See, a lot of us we're trying to suppress, right? You know, we're beyond that. You know what I'm saying? The Christian mythos, the Eastern mythos, the African mythos. We're trying to deny it. We're trying to crush it, but it can't be suppressed. They are spontaneous productions of the psyche, and each bears with it, undamaged, the germ power of its source. What is the secret of the timeless vision? From what profundity of the mind does it derive? Why is mythology everywhere the same beneath this varied of costumes? And what does it teach? Today, many scientists are contributing to the analysis of the riddle. Archaeologists are probing the ruins of Iraq. Boom, 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 we're going to get past that. Most remarkable of all, however, are the revelations that have emerged from the mental clinic. The bold and truly epic-making writing of a psychoanalysis are indispensable to the student of mythology, for whatever may be thought of the detailed and sometimes contradictory interpretation of specific cases and problems. Freud, Jung, and their followers have demonstrated irrefutably that the logic, the heroes, and the deeds of myth survive into modern times. In the absence of effective general mythology, in the absence of an effective general mythology, each of us has his private, unrecognized, rudimentary, yet secretly potent pantheon of dreams. The latest incarnation of Oedipus, the continued romance of Beauty and the Beast, stand this afternoon on the corner of 42nd Street and 5th Avenue, waiting for the traffic light to change. Right now, this is the issue, because we got to really explore this, right? Because a lot of us, as far as black men, we didn't have to deal with the Oedipus complex, because for a lot of us, men wasn't around, right? But we still have to break away from our mothers, right? Which a lot of us still have not. Let me see. Let me find that. Alright. When we turn now with the image in mind to consider the numerous strange rituals that have been reported from the primitive tribes and great civilizations of the past, it becomes apparent that the purpose and actual effect of these was to conduct people across those difficult thresholds of transformation that demand a change in the patterns not only of conscious but also of unconscious life. So you have a conscious life, you have an unconscious life. Now, when those two don't line up, this is when you have conflict in your life, right? Many of us have an unconscious life that is fucking up the conscious life, right? Because we're not aware of it. We're not aligning, we're not messing with the mythology, we're not messing with the folk tales, we're not looking at the underlying pantheon that is lying within us. We're not under the underlying beliefs that are truly guiding us, because we say one thing with our mouths, but we do other things with our actions. All right. Those typical thresholds transformations that demand a change in patterns not only the conscious but also unconscious life. The so-called rites of passage, which occupy such a prominent place in the life of a primitive society, ceremonials of birth, naming, puberty, marriage, burial, etc., are distinguished by formal and usually very severe exercise of severance, whereby the mind is radically cut away from the attitudes, attachment, and life patterns of the stage being left behind. Then follows an interval of more or less extended retirement, during which are enacted rituals designed to introduce the life adventurer to the forms and proper feelings of his new estate, so that when at last the time has ripened for the return to the normal world, the initiate will be as good as reborn. Right? So, the rites of passage, right, and which covers more than just going from, and this is one of the issues that I had, because a lot of the people that talk about rites of passage only talk about helping like Cleve about to be 12. Wake up, boy. Do your work. All right? Good grief. Wake up. All right. Like Cleve going into manhood, right? You know what I'm saying? Boom. And that's cool. But what about an older gentleman like me moving into eldership, right? Or a young man moving into nation builder, nation builderhood. Excuse that, you know what I'm saying? All these gnats. It's this drink I got sitting over here. They all want my drink, right? But I can't drink it right now because we just got done eating. But, you know what I'm saying? And we only focused on that moving from the young man, the boy, to the young man. We never focused on the eldership. We never focused on from birth, from the womb to the tomb. This is what the rites of passage help cover, because at each one of those phases, we got to make crucial cuts and basically reintroduce the individual to the rules of life. Right? Right now people are having midlife crisis. Why? Because there is no road signs for them to handle what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? How do you handle the fact that you are approaching the point in your life where there's a great possibility you have more years behind you than you have in front of you? There's no roadmap for that shit. In traditional societies, there were. Right now, there is none. Right? So we have to rely on rituals. We got to rely on our dreams. So we go back and we start doing shit. We start reliving our childhood. We start buying cars and useless stuff. Wake up, right? So, most amazing is the fact that a great number of ritual trials and images correspond to those that appear automatically in dreams the moment the psychoanalyst patient begins to abandon his infantile fixation and to progress into the future. Among the Aborigines of Australia, for example, one of the principal features of the ordeal of initiation by which the boy at puberty is cut away from the mother and introduced into society and secret law of the men is the rites of circumcision. Alright? Now, we won't go into that, but it's a part of this that I want to cover with you. It has always been the prime function of mythology and the rites to supply the symbol that carry the human spirit forward. In counteraction to these constant human fantasies that tend to tie it back. In fact, it may well be that the very high incidence of neuroticism among ourselves in the West follows from the decline among us of such effective spiritual aids. We remain fixated to the unexercised images of our infancy, and hence disincline to the necessary passage of our adulthood. In the United States, there's even a pathos of invented emphasis. The goal is not to grow old, but to remain young. Not to mature away from the mother, but to cleave to her. And so while husbands are worshiping at their boyhood shrines, being the lawyers, merchants, or masterminds their parents wanted them to be, their wives, even after 14 years of marriage and 2 fine children produced and raised, are still on the search for love, which can come to them only from the centaurs, selenies, satyrs, and other concupiscent incubi of the route of Pan, either as in the second of the above recited dreams or as in our popular vanilla frosted temples of venereal goddesses under the makeup of the latest heroes of the screen. So basically what he's saying is, because Western society has cut itself off from myths, cut itself off from rituals, we have a bunch of adults, myself included, running around here, still having mama drama, right? Still having mama issues. And we got grown women still fantasizing and looking for Prince Charming, right? When in fact, both of them need to be cut away from the old fantasies and given new fantasies or new models to move into. But we haven't done it as a society. Now, let's get back here. Now, this goes with us establishing our own holidays. This goes with us. This goes with us developing our mythic aspect and learning to celebrate and learning to initiate ourselves, right? Now, I'm not really a big lover of Nordic. I take that back. I like Nordic myth. I'm not gonna lie. I like Nordic myth, and my favorite part of Nordic myth is a saying that Odin says. Odin says, "I sacrifice myself unto myself," right? For wisdom. And many of us have to learn to sacrifice ourselves to ourselves for wisdom. Now, we don't have to hang from a tree or be crucified as Odin was or as Jesus was, but in some form or fashion, we have to initiate that suffering, right? We have to initiate that suffering, right? And the most profound way that I have found to do that through the fasting, family. Right? Now, unless you got a Sundance you go to, unless you got somebody could take you through a vision quest. I've been fortunate enough to be involved in both of those. Sundance from more of an outside perspective, but I've been able to do my own Bleacher. I've been blessed. Elder Mark Walsh took me through. Rest in peace, and ancestor now. Allowed me to stay out an extra day during mine because I really needed it at that point in time. But the point is, we that may not have the luck of Brother Hatim, the blessing of Brother Hatim, the eldership of Brother Hatim, because I've been blessed with elders around me who've been able to plug me in with people to get me some of the stuff I need. A lot of y'all may not have that, right? So fasting is a way for you to actually initiate yourself, sacrifice yourself unto yourself. All right. The tribal ceremonies. Now check this out. This is from the chapter, The Function of Myth and Cult and Meditation. The tribal ceremonies of birth, initiation, marriage, burial, installation, and so forth serve to translate the individual life crisis and life deeds into classic impersonal forms. They disclose him or her to himself, not as this personality or that, but as the warrior, the bride, the widow, the priest, the chieftain, at the same time rehearsing for the rest of the community the old lessons of archetypal stages. See, the archetypes are basically the models for certain points in life. Like the warrior is an archetype. The wise man, the wise woman is an archetype. You know what I'm saying? So you have these archetypes, right? Now, as African people, what archetypes do we have set up, right? What archetypes are they our archetypes, right? Or are we copying other people's archetypes, right? All right, now they disclose him to not as personality or that, but as the warrior, the bride, the widow, the priest, the chieftain, at the same time rehearsing for the rest of the community the old lessons of archetypal stages. All participate in the ceremonies according to rank and function. The whole society becomes visible to itself as an imperishable living unit. Generations of individuals pass like anonymous cells from a living body, but the sustaining timeless form remains. By an enlargement of vision to embrace this super individual, each discovers himself enhanced, enriched, supported, and magnified. His role, however unimpressive, is seen to be intrinsic to the beautiful festival images of man. The image potential, yet necessarily inhibited within himself. See, these rituals, these initiations help an individual, right, recognize the deeper them. And it also connects them to something larger, which a lot of us are missing. I keep on saying, a lot of black folks, family, and y'all, people get mad at me, I don't care. A lot of y'all, a lot of us, I ain't gonna say y'all, a lot of us are atheists. We just too scared to say it. We don't believe in nothing. Believe in nothing. I ain't see they came in and cut off my damn camera. That's what happened. Came in and cut. You seen it, Cleve. You know, come in and cut off my damn camera. I'm telling the truth. Most of y'all don't believe. Most of us don't believe in nothing, right? Because we don't believe in nothing, we get nothing, right? Now, so all I'm challenging you to do is to change that perspective, right? Start setting up your personal holidays. I'm born on Kujichagulia, so I'll start celebrating that. I'll set the example for that for a little while so y'all can see. But find you some holy days. and learn to sacrifice yourself unto yourself so that you can become the greater you. All right, this is Brother Hatim. I'm gonna mix up this juice and Thank you for watching the video. I want you to subscribe. Click the bird right there, the fiery bird. And I also have a special video just for you right there. And for those that want more information about Nyame Journey, go to our site. It should be right about there.